Hi gang, this is the Xteen Featurette channel. I'm Chris and I have a TGIX review video for you today. And it is My Father the Hero, starring Gerard Depardieu and Katherine Heigl. So this was sent to me for review by Kino Lorber. I'm in front of the old abandoned Kino rack today, so yeah, let's give it a look. This was my first time watching it and it's weird. So this is a 1994 release. It is, I guess, a remake of a 1991 French movie that was also starring Gerard Depardieu. So this was his second time in this role. And it was weird.
Gerard Depardieu.
Uh-huh. This is directed by Steve Miner, and it's kind of fitting because it's a little bit horrific. So I will run through the plot real quick. I guess no spoilers, but whatever. Gerard plays, it opens with him and his daughter and his ex-wife, and he goes to this apartment in New York. He's picking up his daughter to go, Katherine Heigl is his daughter, and he's taking her on a vacation. You know, they get in a taxi, and it was a really cute opening scene. You know, he plays the piano, which I guess he's actually a pianist, my husband told me. So it was really cute. It's kind of like, you know, you see Katherine Heigl's, she has like a conflict in her face because, you know, she's very happy to see her dad. She's 14, and she actually was 14 at the time that this was filmed. So she plays a 14-year-old. She is 14, and this is her first time seeing her dad after a couple years. He's living somewhere else, I think New York, somewhere, Paris maybe, I don't know, maybe England. He's like engaged to this woman in England, I think. So it's just like she hasn't seen him in a while and she feels kind of like forgotten, but she's happy to see him at the same time. So that's pretty much the premise. Katherine Heigl is she's just like an angsty teen. They get to this beautiful, you know, place in the Bahamas, and you know, there's this scene where she steps out on the deck and she's just like looking at the ocean. It's a, you know, beautiful blue waters, and you can tell that she's like super happy. And then her dad shows up and she's just like, like teenage angst. I thought at times that her acting was like a little too over the top. The difference between, you know, her happiness and then her angst, but I guess it got the point across. So she's at this resort and she doesn't want to be there, and she's just like, you know, hating her life. And the only thing that like interests her is this like super hottie, I think his name's Ben. So she sees him and she's just like, you know, runs into a table. She's like so awkward because of this dude that she's like instantly in love with. You know, her dad's trying to like hang out with her and she's like, oh my God, like I just would rather talk to boys. I'm like, I get it, you know, I was 14. That's how 14-year-old girls are. Basically, in order to impress Ben, Katherine Heigl, she plays a character named Nicole. She tells Ben like all these lies. She just becomes like this compulsive liar because she thinks that if, you know, super cool 18-year-old Ben knows that she's just like a 14-year-old nerd, he won't talk to her. So she says that she's not there with her dad, she's there with her lover, her sugar daddy. I'm like, this is really awkward. Like, a lot of cringe-worthy moments from then on. So it just gets like weirder and weirder. You know, she says that her mom is like a prostitute or something, and her dad's in jail or prison or something. And you know, Gerard saved, I think his name's Andre. He plays a character named Andre. Andre saved her from the streets, and you know, she was a runaway. So she was watching like some daytime TV show before that, and like that was a story on TV, and she just like starts regurgitating it to Ben, like, oh yeah, and he's just like horrified, like, what? You know, we gotta help this chick, she's in trouble. And she doesn't understand that she's making life miserable for her dad, because Ben goes and tells the island residents and tourists or whatever, and they all think that he's a pedophile. So it's just really, really weird. It makes it even weirder whenever he, this one really funny but deranged scene, he is playing piano and he starts to sing Thank Heaven for Little Girls. But it's just like, you know, he's supposed to be like happy because like whenever it cuts to he clears out the room, like they're all appalled, like this obvious child molester is singing Thank Heaven for Little Girls, so they all leave while he's playing. And then whenever he turns his back and sees the audience is gone, you know, it's supposed to be like he's all super happy playing music, and then he turns around and just like you know, is just like crushed. But like while he's playing and he's happy and jovial, he just seems like maniacal, like absolutely. I said whenever I watched it, and I said it whenever I posted on Instagram, he seems deranged. He seems absolutely just maniacal. It's really uncomfortable to watch. I don't know. There's a scene where Andre is like water skiing and Ben is driving the boat, and he basically almost kills him because of, you know, him being a disgusting pervert. And it's just obvious that, you know, everybody is even though all this stuff is happening, no one says to him like, how could you do this? Like no one goes up to him and says, hey, you know, what's wrong with you? And you know, that was never the case. It's just like everyone's giving him the cold shoulder, and he's just like, what's wrong with this island? Everyone's nuts. That's pretty much, it's like that for, I don't know, like an hour. And then she basically tells her dad eventually, hey, you know, don't yell at me, but I made up this lie, and he loses his mind because it's disgusting. And she keeps saying the word lover, and I'm like, ugh. It felt gross to see because she, like, again, she is 14. She's like cuddling up to him, and he's like thinking, oh, it's like my daughter showing me affection, and we must be bonding. She was trying to make Ben think that they were being intimate. Whatever. So once Nicole tells Andre about her lies, you know, he doesn't like shut it down and tell the kid what's happening to clear his name. He begins lying with her, and they just both start telling all of these lies, and it gets like really, really weird. Like he's now, you know, in the military, and something about like Russian spies and like all this crap. It was just very fantastical, you know, stuff like it would never happen in real life. It's just one of these, it's almost like a kid's movie, but there's way too much sexual stuff in it. You know, then there's the scene where Nicole's like basically professing her love to this Ben dude, but her dad's like standing there telling her what to say, and he's like saying, you know, oh, like your eyes, I'm not happy whenever you're not around, and I love your eyes and your hands, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, like, is he trying to get his 14-year-old daughter laid? Like, I don't know. It's just, why would, they wouldn't. Any 14-year-old girl would not take, like, love advice from their dad. At one point, they were sitting on a table, like, writing a love letter together to this kid. And he's, like, telling her what to write. And I'm just like, that would never happen. Like, you know, the last thing that a 14-year-old girl would do is tell anything about her crush to her dad. So yeah, just no, it was very unrealistic, very awkward, just very bizarre moments with the music and everything. The soundtrack to this is ridiculous. There's so many scenes with live music, and the Baja Men, those Baja Men, the Who Let the Dogs Out Baja Men, they are in this, and they do like a bunch of live music. Like there's like a, I don't know, a cabana or something at this resort, and they're just playing music there a lot of footage of the Baja Men. So that's cool if you like that. There's one character in this that I absolutely loved. It was like this kid. At first I thought he was like old. He was a kid that's like getting ready to go to college, and he's like going for like, I don't know, like finance or something, international finance. And he's just like sitting here the whole time, like talking to Gerard, Andre, and just like saying, oh, do you think it would be best if I did this or this, like with international finance? And oh, what about this market? And well, and Andre's just like, kid, shut up. That's pretty much the movie. I found it very uncomfortable. It was very awkward. It was bizarre. But that being said, it was fun. So it did keep my attention. On this we have audio commentary with director Steve Miner, and the original theatrical trailer, and I listened to the commentary, and it sounded to me like, Steve Miner just took this so he could hang out in the Bahamas for a couple months. I don't blame him, It's, I guess he brought in like his parents and his kids, and they all just like hung out, and his kids spent time with Gerard. Even in the commentary, they both sounded so awkward when they were talking about Katherine Heigl because she's 14 in this, and they were saying that, like, there's times where she doesn't look 14. She looks very sophisticated. And it's just like the way that they were speaking about her, you could tell that they were being very careful with what they said. The commentary on this was very good too. So if you do get this Blu-ray, check that out. There's a lot of information from Steve Miner. He recalls a lot about this, so that's always interesting. It's not one of those commentaries where the director doesn't remember a thing about the movie. He actually has a lot of good information. So if you're looking for a fun, awkward 90-minute ride, there you go, My Father the Hero. Check it out on an upcoming Kino Lorber sale. I would. So that is my review for My Father the Hero, sent to me for review by Kino Lorber. A big thanks to Kino for sending this to me. And yeah, this is definitely at home in my weird collection. And if you want to check out more reviews of mine in the future, sub to my channel and hit the bell so you actually see stuff that comes up, because otherwise it'll get hidden. So thanks for watching, leave a comment, talk to me, and I will see you next time.